I'm a Sagittarius. When I was born, they discovered I had ADHD, which is a form of hyperactivity. It's a condition that's given to some people after they're born or when they're born. When I was young, I was always getting into trouble. I was rebellious against anything and everything. I never listened to anybody. I always did things my way. I just didn't believe in anybody, I guess. I started smoking at the age of 13 and a half, cigarettes, and I had a part of a beer. And so I basically started doing all that at about 14. Shortly after that, I started smoking pot, and I did everything. I did mushrooms, acid. A short time after that, I got involved with heroin. I was addicted to that for about 9 months. I eventually got off of it, unbelievably. It took 2 months of hell to get off it. Nobody knew I was doing it. I would shoot it in my lower left large toe under the nail. Never on marks on me, nobody ever saw. I never got in trouble legally for any drug I ever did in my life. Unbelievably. As I grew up, I started dealing everything. I wanted to make money. That was my focus in life. Make money. And I dealt everything known. Acid and sheets of blotter and psilocybins and just whatever got people high. Then I got involved with cocaine. I was a big dealer of cocaine. And cocaine is a crazy drug. The women on cocaine they're just sexually perverted. I would go to a party and sit on the couch, and there would be a lot of people there playing pool or doing whatever. I would whip out a bag of coke, and literally a woman would come to the couch, say hi, sit down next to me, and when I opened the bag up, she would get in front of me on her knees and pull my pants down and service me in front of everybody, and nobody cared. People would just be playing pool and look and go, oh, whatever, it's the usual. It was a crazy way to live. But I enjoyed it. I was young and stupid, you know. After a while, I got involved with clothing. I was buying shorts for $5 each, and they were $30 in the store. And I was confused how that happened, but it turned out that the contractor was late on delivery, so OP said we can't accept it. So they got stuck with it. I bought 6 pair actually, for $5 each, and sold them to my friends for $10. I doubled my money, and it wasn't illegal. And it felt good, so I went back, bought more. Later, I was introduced to the warehouse district up at the LA Mart and the clothing and garment district in LA. And I would drive my truck up there every week, and the suppliers had many defects, missing buttons, just small little defects. And I would buy defects or get them for free most of the time and take them to people and sell them. I had after a while, I started doing the swap meets. At one point, after a year, I had 4 booths set up at the swap meet. Everybody knew me by name. I had a cash register in the middle. I had 2 guys working for me that were helpers. And I was just selling everything. And after a while, I was selling good stuff as well. And years later, I decided I wanted a store. And so I opened my first store in North Pacific Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, next to a barber shop. A very commercial area, It wasn't conducive to touristic retail at all. It was more commercial, a barber, businesses that helped community people. But I was doing cable during the week, Monday through Friday, as a subcontractor, and I was at the store on the weekends, and people would come in and they would buy defects. They didn't care. The Laguna locals would fix a button and save 40, 50 bucks. After a while, I wanted to open a real store, so I looked around and I found a location in Belmont Shore on 2nd Street, and I opened a small store there. Opened it myself, designed it, did everything, just stocked it full of stuff and sold product. Shortly after that, a few years later, I opened a store in Laguna Beach, another one on the main drag, Forest Avenue. I still have that one now. It's been there for many years. As far as clothing stores, I had 6 stores at one point. 2 in Laguna, 1 in Belmont Shore, 1 in Palm Springs, 1 in San Francisco on Union Street. And, so things were good. After a while, I got disillusioned with it and just got back into partying and kind of lost everything in a way. I still have it all, but anyway, the injury. Towards the later days, my deal was to get women that were with other men. That was my goal. I always put goals in front of me, and I always got them. And I would see women in Laguna Beach at one of the bars, the Sandpiper, the White House, or Marine Room. I'd park my convertible Benz on PCH in front of the White House, and they let me. Everybody knew me. I was the man about town. I had the 2 best stores in town. I dated the mayor's daughter for a year. They all knew me well. So I would park there, and one time in my life, about 3 months before I was there, I went without the Benz. The taxi took me because I got my license restricted. The first drunk driving ticket I got in my life, believe it or not. And my license was taken away. So to party, I would take a taxi. And I took a taxi downtown, and I walked around, and around midnight is when I would go usually, 11:30 midnight, when people were more prime, and I would typically, I pretty much always got the woman I wanted when they were with other men. It didn't matter. All I would have to do is tell them what I do, and they'd say, wow, I go there all the time, and boom, it's a done deal. But on the night I was assaulted, I did it to the wrong woman. Her guy was with her as usual, and he got upset. I was drunk. I left the bar. I walked through the alley to go to my store, and on Forest Avenue, and he got me in the alley before I reached Forest Avenue. He hit me, knocked me out, and proceeded to beat me. I was drunk. I couldn't fight back. He hit me hard with something, and it cracked my skull. A lady that knows me, Susan, owns a gallery on Forest Avenue. Her worker came to work for closing. She saw me laying down in the alley. She told Susan there was a guy in the alley. She said, go to work. She started working. Susan went around and saw me. She knew me. She said, Randy, I got up and I walked to Forest, or to PCH in front of the White House where taxis always were. My head was cracked at that time. I got in the taxi, took me home. there was no blood around because a cracked skull seeps blood out.